Wait! Hannah? I knew it. You are having an affair. Huh? Why is there a man sleeping at Mark's house? What? Wait a minute. Cecilia, why are you in that house? That's not what's important right now. That is what matters right now. Because that place doesn't belong to us anymore. My name is Hannah, and I am a 32 years old nurse. My husband, Mark, and I have been married for 3 years now. We have no children yet, and we both work. We share the household chores and support each other. So even after 3 years of marriage, we are still very much affectionate with each other. Mark is really a wonderful husband. However, someone has recently come to interfere with our happy life. That is my husband's mother. Yes, my mother-in-law, Cecilia. We moved into our current apartment a few months ago because of Mark's work. However, because it was close to Cecilia's house, she started visiting us a lot. Cecilia lost Henry, her husband, 2 years ago, so I thought at first that she would be alone and lonely. So I did not particularly complain about Cecilia visiting us at our place, even though I did not really like her. But every single time Cecilia came to our place, her attitude became more and more thick-skinned, and she began to torment me. Hannah, why don't you please quickly serve me some tea and snacks? You're a really uncaring and useless wife. I can't help but wonder how someone like you could marry my Mark. Maybe I should move in with you two and teach you some manners. I absolutely hate the idea of living with such a troublesome mother-in-law. I was indeed at the end of my patience, so I talked to my husband about it. Mark didn't think that Cecilia came over often, so he got really angry with her on my behalf. I understand that you are lonely, Mother, but Mother, you shouldn't be hard on Hannah that much when she doesn't deserve that kind of attitude. I was just trying to educate Hannah how to be a good and better wife. We don't need that kind of help from you right now. Anyways, don't do anything that annoys and bother Hannah, please, Mother. Since Mark said this to Cecilia with such harsh attitude, Cecilia was really upset and sad about it. I just only hoped Cecilia will reflect her own actions and be better. Thanks to Mark, Cecilia did not come to our house for the next month or so. But recently, she started coming over to our place once again. And the timing when she visits is just the worst timing for me ever. It was a little before 9 a.m. in the morning. The sound of someone banging on the front door will continue forever. Since I just finished my night shift, it was so hard for me to wake up my tired body. But I tried my best and headed to the front door. Who on earth could it be? I had a bad feeling about this, so I fearfully looked through the peephole with a frightened look on my face. And I see Cecilia at the door. Hey, Hannah! I know you're in there. Hurry up and open the door. Since Cecilia is yelling and shouting at the door for me like that, I thought something was wrong. So I hurriedly opened the front door. Then Cecilia said, You take too long to open the door, Hannah. She said this in such ungrateful manner. How can I help you, Cecilia, today? Huh? What are you saying? I'm not here for anything. Do I need to have a reason to come to my own son's house? Cecilia, you know that's not what I meant. I'm just really exhausted because of the night shift I had, and I really need to sleep now to be ready for work in the evening. Even though I appealingly said how tired and sleepy I was due to work and also needed my sleep, my mother-in-law did not listen to me at all. Huh? Night shift? Are you joking me? Stop being silly. I bet you are just out drinking late at night anyways. That's not true. I have told you that I work as a nurse, Cecilia. What are you saying? Stop lying and excusing yourself from doing household chores. You're a terrible wife, fooling around like that and making my Mark work all the time. I'm working too. Well then, if you're not here for anything else, could you leave now? I really need to get my sleep before work. No! I am not letting you off the hook so easily. I have to see and supervise if you are not slacking off and doing your household chores. What? As Cecilia said this, she just barged into the house. Then, she sat down on the couch saying and ordering, "Hurry up and go prepare me tea and some sweets." I had no choice but to do as she ordered and prepared her tea and sweets. Cecilia continued to stay at our place and made me cook lunch for her when she could be the one making herself useful. Since Cecilia stayed at our place until my husband came home in the evening, I was not able to get good enough sleep for my work, but I had to go to my work anyways in that condition. However, the reason why Cecilia left our place at that time because I actually called Mark and asked him to come back home instead of doing overtime. If my husband had worked overtime, Cecilia would have had to kept her eyes on me and would not have allowed me to go to the night shift. I shuddered to think of that. And Cecilia never learned her lesson and kept coming back to our place to keep her eyes on me. No matter how much my husband tried to warn her, she kept coming back every couple of days. Because of Cecilia, I became very sleep deprived, and due to that, I wasn't feeling well anymore. If this situation continues, it's going to interfere with my work. Plus, I feel bad asking Mark to come home early every time. Mark is starting to get fed up with his own mother's insane behavior as well, and we have been racking our brains trying to figure out what to do about it. Cecilia somehow seems to target the days when I work the night shift, and I wonder how she knows my work schedule every time. Mark seemed to think the same thing. So Mark and I decided to work together to punish my mother-in-law. On the next day of my night shift, Mark took a paid leave and waited for my mother-in-law to come home. Sure enough, as usual, my mother-in-law started banging on the front door very loudly. "Hey, Hannah! Hurry up and open the door! I hope you're not sleeping in after your scandalous night out again. Seriously, you're such a lousy wife. How could you? Cecilia kept banging on the door while yelling such insane things. Mark, who was fed up with her, opened the front door. Gosh, what took you so long, you slowpoke? I knew that you were sleeping in, weren't you? What? Mark? What are you doing here at this hour? I took a paid leave today, Mother. Mom, were you bothering Hannah just like this and causing such trouble in our neighborhood? No. I was just trying to guide your terrible wife because she was being such a lazy wife who just fools around. Mother, how many times have I told you that she works at the night shift as a nurse? She's lying. She is out bar hopping and just fooling around, Mark. Okay, Mother, that is enough. What are you saying? Hannah is doing her night shift. Do you want me to call her hospital to check for you so you will know? Well, there is no need to do so, Mark. Then, stop bothering and causing trouble to Hannah by coming over here early in the morning, whenever she finished her night shift, or ever come here anymore. If you ever come here again to bother Hannah, I will never consider you as my mother anymore. Oh no! Mark, how could you say such horrible things to me? Well, that's because you are causing so much trouble to us, Mother. In any case, I just gave you a warning, alright? Just in case, I'll say this again. If you ever bother Hannah again like this, I will cut off ties with you and will never consider you as my mother. Mother, you should just reflect on what has happened right now and think of how you should act around here from now on. According to my husband, my mother-in-law's face turned pale. If Mark has said all this much, my mother-in-law would have realized how serious the situation is. In fact, since then, Cecilia has stopped coming to my house in the morning when I work the night shift and never bothered me again. Now, I was able to rest and sleep in peace finally. Since I was not sleep deprived anymore, I was feeling better and was able to concentrate on my work. However, about a month after Mark warned Cecilia, she did it again. I was sleeping peacefully at home after a night shift when the pounding on the front door started up again. There, I see Cecilia looking back at me through the peephole. Hey, Hannah, are you still asleep or awake? Are you still fooling around at night? Are you bar hopping and having some flings? Or are you having an affair behind Mark's back? Even though I tried to ignore her, since Cecilia began to say such things in a loud voice, I hurriedly unlocked and opened the door. Hey, Cecilia, stop saying such lies. Oh, I knew it. You are at home sleeping in. They are no lies. You unlocked the door in the panic because I was saying the truth. Cecilia, are you sure you want to say such things? If Mark finds out that you are here and saying such things, he'll cut you off. Didn't he warn you that? When I said that, Cecilia just snickered. He's my son. he would say it but won't really seriously go through with it. Then I became very curious about my mother-in-law's luggage that she was carrying. She was carrying such a huge luggage. Cecilia, what's with that luggage? Mark will be going away for his 2-day business trip, right? I thought I'd stay here and have an eye on you to make sure you don't misbehave. What? Well, enough chit-chat. Why don't you go and make some tea? To my surprise, Cecilia came to our place, knowing that Mark will be gone for his business trip. I was just so shocked. Fortunately, I have tomorrow off, and the day after tomorrow is my night shift. So Cecilia won't be able to detain me from going to work. However, I was shocked that this precious day off would be ruined by my mother-in-law. It is too dangerous to leave my mother-in-law alone in this house. If I leave her alone, I know that she will snoop and ransack around. So, I have no choice but to stay at home with her. Cecilia was very hard on me and forced me to do things like cleaning and cooking, and all of the household chores. Normally, when Mark is away on a business trip, those days will be a holiday for me from household chores and to relax. Even when I am trying to do these household chores with my tired body, Cecilia would just say, "You're too slow," or "You should be more efficient." Hannah, I knew that you are always slacking off. Since Mark won't be home today, I will teach you some manners. My mother-in-law said that and instructed me in a lively manner. It's no wonder I move so slowly since I'm tired from work in the first place. But no matter how much I said this to Cecilia, she wouldn't listen. She didn't even really believe that I was a working nurse. I took advantage of the opportunity and reported to my husband over text message that Cecilia was here at our place. My husband seemed taken aback of the fact and sent a message saying, "I'm really sorry. I won't tolerate my mother anymore when I get back from my business trip." I received this message from Mark. I was grateful that Mark was on my side and has my back. He really knows how to warm my heart up. The hours Cecilia stayed with me was nothing but pain, but I managed to get through it with the thought that my husband will tell Cecilia off. Cecilia, perhaps sensing the danger, left quickly right before my husband returned from his business trip. Mark apologized to me as soon as he returned from his business trip. I didn't think that my own mother was this insane. "Hannah, I'm really sorry for causing so much trouble. I am not going to and will never forgive my mother again." My husband said that, and he suggested that we move out of this house. But this is the first apartment we bought together as a couple. Are we going to move out and sell it? When I asked him that, he replied, "I'm actually thinking of leasing this place." "Come again?" "That way we'll get the money from the lease and my mother won't disturb your sleep, right?" "Oh, I see." I agreed to Mark's suggestion. And just then, someone from Mark's office was looking for a place to live alone. So, we decided to sign a lease for him. Since he was Mark's co-worker, Bob, we decided to give him a little discount on the rent in exchange for not changing the key. Of course, we gave him all the duplicate keys we had. Thank goodness we found someone who would stay at our place. We rented a room in a new, different apartment, and we moved in. Just because Cecilia did not come over, we were able to live a peaceful and tranquil life. I thought Cecilia might contact Mark when she found out that we were no longer staying at our old place, but so far, we haven't received any calls or messages from Cecilia, surprisingly. Perhaps, maybe Mark told Cecilia that he cut off ties with her harshly, so maybe she is in too much of a shock that she is not able to come over to our old place anymore. But she's the type who will definitely come back when things have cooled down. So this is the right thing to do, making moves before she could make any moves to bother us. After we moved into our new place, we had a really peaceful time as a couple. But then one day, out of the blue, I received a phone call from Cecilia. Hello? Hey, Hannah. Is that you? I knew it. I was so right. You are having an affair with someone else behind my Mark. What are you talking about? Why is there a man sleeping at Mark's house? What? Wait a minute. Cecilia, why are you inside that house? That's not what's important right now. That is what's important right now. That is not our place anymore. What? Then I heard the sound of a police car over the phone. Wait, what do you mean by this is not your place anymore? I was able to enter this place with a duplicate key. Wait, what? How do you have the duplicate key? When I tried to ask Cecilia how she got the duplicate key, I heard her say, "Hey, stop! What are you doing?" And I heard her shouting. Apparently, the police had arrived and Cecilia was captured. The voice on the phone was no longer Cecilia's, and it was the police. Excuse me, what is your relationship to this person? I am Cecilia's daughter-in-law. The police asked me some questions and ended the call for the time being. But afterwards, Mark and I decided to go to the police station. When we got to the police station, we saw Cecilia with a very exhausted face. Apparently, the police had interrogated her quite a bit. Mark and I asked the police what had happened. Police explained with great details. First, Cecilia kept banging on the front door. Then, she says something bad about me in a very loud voice that the whole entire neighborhood could hear. But since no one answered the door, Cecilia broke into the house with her duplicate key. Since no one answered the door, Cecilia thought no one was at home. But then she heard snoring from the bedroom. So Cecilia thought I was sleeping in forever, and she got angry and went into my room and tried to knock me out of my own bed. Sleeping in till lunchtime, you lazy slug. Hurry up and wake up and get to work. Then she took the comforter away as hard as she could, and that's when she saw a stranger sleeping there, and to her surprise, she screamed. Because of Cecilia's scream, Bob jumped up. Both of them froze and wondered who the other person was. But Cecilia thought and mistook him as a man I was having an affair with, so she got angry at him. What are you doing at my Mark's house? I knew it. You are the guy who Hannah is having an affair with, aren't you? Cannot believe that you got the nerve sleeping over at my Mark's house. Since Cecilia was furious and shouting at Bob insanely, He felt like he was in a life-threatening situation. Then Cecilia said, "You stay here, whoever you are. I am going to call Hannah and check about this situation with her." As she said this, she left the room and started to call me. Meanwhile, Bob called the police on her. Then, while Cecilia was on the phone with me, she was captured by the police. I think anyone would call the police if they were actually in that situation. It is too much of a frightening experience to be woken up by a very loud voice, and when you open your eyes to find an unknown, insane woman standing there, suddenly yelling at you. My husband immediately apologized to Bob, who was renting our place. Apparently, Bob had heard from my husband that Mark and I had been having problems with my mother-in-law for some time, and he remembered this right after my mother-in-law was arrested. Since he was just woken up by Cecilia, he didn't know what was going on and was in panic, so he couldn't figure out who Cecilia was. But neither my husband nor I knew that my mother-in-law had made a duplicate key without our permission, so we weren't able to warn Bob, who rented our place. This time, Mark was very furious. Of course, Mark had the right to be furious since Cecilia is the one who caused the scene, which made a bad impression of Mark to Bob. My husband promised to pay Bob to change the locks and to pay a fee for surprising him with this incident, and he decided to have Cecilia pay for all of the costs. Cecilia did not seem convinced that she should be the one paying the cost, but my husband threatened her, saying that if she did not agree to his terms, he would have the people at work file a damage report on her. Since she doesn't want to be anywhere close to the police nor police station, Cecilia said, "Please, I'll pay all the costs, so don't send me to the police." My mother-in-law paid the alimony and money to change the locks from the inheritance left by Mark's father. And when she was done with the payment, Mark cut off ties with her. Since Cecilia tormented me, I guess this is what she deserved. Meanwhile, Mark and I had a peaceful time after that, and I became pregnant. Probably because I was no longer under stress. Now we have a child and are very happy as a family of 3. Can you believe that there's a mother-in-law out there who would pound on doors to disturb sleep just to torment their daughter-in-law? How scary! I am just surprised that no one in the neighborhood called the police on Cecilia. If anyone called the police on Cecilia, maybe things wouldn't have turned out this bad. Well, in any case, Cecilia deserved what she got and lost a lot of things, so I hope this time she will definitely reflect on her actions and improve them in the future. I hope Hannah, Mark, and their baby, Gerard, to live happily ever after peacefully. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.